everyone, I'm Keshin. Especially greeting to Living Dharma groups. Today I'll be running some basic meditations and setting the background for jhanas. So we sit with a straight back and in a comfortable position. It doesn't really need to be cross-legged, could be on a chair, could be on our bed, on the floor, a park bench, on the beach. And we take 3 deep breaths. Breathe through our tummy, pause, and breathe out. And we scan our body. Start from the top. Go very slow. As we scan down our body, we relax those muscles. Just let them drop. And we listen to sound. We use sound to anchor our mind in the present. What can we hear? The plane. Could be the distance traffic. Voices of people. The dog bark. The less we labels those sounds, the less it disturbs our mind. Here's a beautiful sound to stay with. the time that we stayed with that sound is that time we take a break from our mind. We take a break from our past. We take a break from the future. And we just be here. We learn to be here. The majority, a big chunk of the training is to learn to be here. This is where life is. This is where the impulses, this is where the frequencies are. This is where my heartbeat and your heartbeat. This is where the sun shines and the wind blows. When I strike the bow and our mind directed to the sound is called directed attention or directed awareness. We direct our awareness. And when we stay with that sound, it's called sustained awareness because we sustain our attention onto it. These two factors are jhana factors and is the factors of mindfulness. So we direct our mind and we sustain our mind. Some of us have very busy mind. We continuously wander into the past, wander into the future. The past ended. It's buried underground. We don't go and occasionally dig it up because it's really smelly. So we just left it there, buried. We just have to allow it to end. And come back to here where life is. We might experience some pain, some itchiness. Our body get uncomfortable. So we be kind to it and shift. Shift slowly, mindfully, and we keep the peace. Keep the peace. keep the stillness. The attitude we have during our meditation is very important. So if we are drowsy, then we just go and sleep. If our mind is very restless, then we just go and move, either walking meditation or go for a walk. Follow the sound to silence. And we stay with the silence. This peaceful state, this restfulness, this relaxed state, no hindrance, is called access stillness. It's a state before jhana arises. What we do during meditation support what we do outside of meditation, and what we do outside of meditation support the sitting. So remember, as we go about the day, be mindful. Be here. Use hints, words, keywords like, where am I? What am I doing? Who am I with? What is my state of mind? What is my intention? Thank you for tuning in. Until we meet again next time. Hello everyone, welcome, and I'm Keshin. Let's recap what we were talking about last video. We learned to find a position that is comfortable for us, and everyone is different. We learn to use scan to relax the muscles. We learn to direct our mind and sustain our mind onto sound as an anchor to be in the present. We train our mind to accept everything that's arises, be it feeling, uncomfortableness, thoughts. We observe them and not be overwhelmed by them. We learn to distance ourselves from unwholesome, negative mindset and cultivate wholesome mindset. We learn to stay in the silence, rest in peace, and in that time out for ourselves, we find some joy, and this joy can rise up like an energy movement. It rises up from our spine, up to our head, and up to our crown, and it gives a tingle like an insect crawling. And then there is a showering sensation of coolness, so our body shivers like goosebumps. And this is called rapture. It's a mark of first jhana. So what is jhana and what is its purpose? We can think jhana is a wholesome food for our heart and mind. When we were little, we loved eating junk foods. We loved lollies and chocolates and chips and sugar drinks, because that's what our senses like. But we didn't know it is unhealthy for us. Then we go to school and our parents taught us and school taught us, and we know about nutrition. We know about our body, and then we geared towards a more healthy, balanced diet with wholesome food like vegetables and fruits. So the mind is the same. We've been conditioned, we've been programmed, we've been bombarded by media and in our culture to like pleasure of the senses. So we are used to define happiness as something out there, external to us, be it objects or a person. And like our happiness are so dependent on the external to the point of almost like an addiction. And it is addictions to some people, whether it be food, substance, or relationships. And like any craving, the more we have, the more we want. Because with addiction, we raise our normal baseline happiness to a higher level, so that we need more and more to maintain normalcy. And as we meditate and we learn, we gear towards acceptance, and we direct our mind to a more wholesome food for the heart, for the mind. Jhana is wholesome because the pleasure and the happiness we find is not dependent on external. And it's only arises when the negative mindset has been abandoned. This energy movement that gives us rapture, we can think like the first rain. Rain that permeates and soaks to the ground. It runs down to the creek and it clears all the channel. And that is what this energy is. It rises and it's showered in waves and waves. And it's soaked throughout our whole body. Every cell is immersed and absorbed in this ecstatic feeling. And we drink in it. We jump into it. We sink into it. We lost ourselves into it. We're totally absorbed and be one with it. It's like when we are so thirsty on a hot day after a hard work, and we open the fridge and there's this cool glass of water, and we drink and we drink and we drink. So first jhana is like that. When we are absorbed or be one with this feeling, we are developing the tranquility quality of our mind, because bliss, joy and happiness would lead the mind to contentment and stillness. But there's another quality that we developed hand in hand, is the vipassana or insight quality of our mind. Because as we so got used to this state, we start to have a look, we start to observe. The mind investigate. And what do we investigate? We ask ourselves, what has been abandoned? What has stopped? And what arises? So what abandoned are the 5 hindrances, such as ill will, drowsiness, restlessness, doubt, and sensual desires. So those perception of defilements of the mind, we leave it aside for a while. And what arises when something stops is a cause for something else to arise. And when we abandon this negativity, our duties for the world, our need to please people, our need to be somebody, when we leave all those aside, let them go for the time being, rapture and joy arise. And when rapture and joy arise, our mind is a little bit more centered, a little bit more still. And what qualities is carried before and after first jhana? The 2 mindfulness quality, direct awareness and sustained awareness. Before we direct our mind and sustain our mind onto sound or onto the breath or onto chanting or any meditation objects. And when jhana arises, when this rapture and joy arise, we let them go, and now the mind is directed to the feeling, and sustained attention on this feeling. And this jhana can last for months or for some people for years. It can arise anytime when we sit and relax, whether it's just having a cup of tea or sitting on the beach. we would feel the movement, the energy movement, and we would feel the rapture. But to some people, they could stay for many years on this excess jhana state, but the jhana couldn't arise. So we have to ask why. We have to have a look at what we are doing outside of meditation. Are we mindful? Are we being here in the present? Are we kind to ourselves? Are we kind to the people around us? Are we kind when we're driving? Are we kind when we're working? So mindfulness and intention are important. Keeping the precept and morality is important. Having faith of our teacher, our teaching is important. All of that give us peace and joy. Another technique is imagining, using visual. So we imagine there's a white blue current of energy rises up our spine, up our neck, rises to our crown, and circle. So the energy rises and circle. And rise. To our crown and circle. So in this video we cover what is jhana, what is the first jhana, what insight do we gain from this first jhana, and how to initiate it. We'll have a look at second jhana next time. Thank you for tuning in. May you be well. May you be happy. Hello everyone. Welcome, and I'm Keshin. Last video we're talking about jhana 1. In this video we're gonna explore jhana 2 and 3. Now imagine the first rain of winter. It rains through the land, it soaked down, and it ran off into the creek. And the whole year the creek is dry and there is no water. So now all the excess rain flow down into the creek, and it rush in its way to the lake, unblocking all the channels, cleaning the creek. And when the water reached the lake in different direction, north, south, and it start to fill the lake up. And as the lake filled up with inner, and also it bubbling up from underneath also, not just on the side and the runoff. And the lake fills and it becomes full and it overflow. So that is the image of jhana 1, 2, and 3. In the first jhana, there is the special feature of first jhana is the rushing, the running, the fast flowing of the energy through our body, up our spine, to the crown, and pervades all through our body, every cells, and it does so, and the pleasure is quite intense with this cool, shivering, fresh pleasure. In the second jhana, the whole experience calmed down a bit. So this rushing is not rushing anymore. It's more like the filling up of the lake. So second jhana is the filling of the lake. And the pleasure is also a little finer. Instead of intense happiness, there is just this love, joy, pleasure. The feeling of the lake can be from the top down, so we might experience a bright light descending slowly, very slowly descending from the crown down into our body. And it does so, we feel this pure love, just immense happiness. Other time it's a gentling, bubbling, like bubbling of the bubbles of joy. And that is the second jhana. Second jhana is the feeling of the lake and the light. There's no light in first jhana. There's more light in the second jhana. The light could be soft moonlit landscape, or it could be a very bright light. So, and the third jhana is when the lake is so full and we are the fullness. So in the third jhana we experience there is no more rushing, no more feeling, no more movement energy. All that has stopped. And now we are feeling this fullness, this immense contentment. It's like we are in a dome of light, and the fullness that we feel is comparable to, say, we have a very big feast, a big meal, or as with women we might feel this big pregnancy, and there is this heaviness, this fullness, yes, kind of heavy sinking sensation. And from the second jhana onwards, all the way to the end, cessation, jhana now is absorption, because we have let go of the thoughts. That is the first level of cessation of that thinking mind. Thoughts stopped, and we don't need to constantly direct our mind and sustain our attention, because all of that stopped. Now we jumped into the pleasure. We are one with the experience. So that's how we absorb. There is less, almost gone. Our sense of self almost gone. There is just the pleasure, just the experience. So in a sense, we are the observed, right? We become love itself. We become contentment itself. We become the happiness itself. We become all of that. We become light itself. So that is the observer, the observed. We become absorbed into the experience, to the exclusion of everything else. And the moment we step back, if we want to let go of each jhana, when the mind has it filled, when it's finished drinking and being nourished by very wholesome food, when our heart and mind and all of our being have this immense wellness, this immense healthiness, the happiness of all of us, the whole of us, the body, the emotion, the heart, the mind, has all been nourished and sustained by this inner spring. The source of our happiness is now inside of us. Once we have enough, then we are ready to let go of the jhana. Then what do? We step back. We become the observer. We start watching. To let go of anything, we step back and watch it. Watch it with equanimity. We watch and we observe and we contemplate later and we reflect. All of that quality is the vipassana aspect. We're developing that. And the observer and the observed is mutually supporting each other. We can't go from one jhana to the next without stepping back and watch and let go, because that is how we let go, by watching and not getting involved. What special note I like to mention is when we move from one jhana like this and we feed on the joy and we have just enough insight to let go of step by step, then this jhana is called ordinary jhana, because it's like ordinary food. We feed on it, we become happy, the mind is calm and peaceful, and during the day we are able to be a little bit kinder. We are able to be more mindful in the present, be grateful, and enjoy the simple act of existence. And this is the ordinary jhana. And what make a super jhana, like a superfood, is we use that jhana to arise knowledge and vision and able to break through into awakening, into enlightenment. There's 4 stages of awakening. So any of the state that we are able to break through, that jhana is a super jhana. And we will cover that next time, because there is something special happening in the 4th jhana. Something that's enable us to break through into existence. But we just develop. We are grateful for what we have. We are grateful for where we are, because life is right now, in this moment, and we're okay with it. So if we just go from jhana to jhana all the way to cessation, that's fine. But at any time we do this investigation, of very special investigation into our 6 sense, our 5 aggregates, our elements, all of that, then we break through into enlightenment, or one of the 4 stages of awakening. So we do that at each jhana, and if we break through, we break through. If not, we move on. And so why doesn't a person couldn't get into jhana? Then we have to look at the way we live outside of the sitting meditation. What is our mindset? Are we living right livelihood? Is our speech gentle and soft? Is our attitude kind, and our intention is kindness? Are we grateful? Are we in acceptance? Are we mindful? Are we able to live here right now and be grateful and be okay with situation and with people? So it's our morality and our precepts and our restraint of the senses. We investigate all that, and we will see why jhana couldn't arise. Because jhana is the happiness of the heart. And how can we ask the heart to be happy if we haven't put effort in to live from that space, from kindness, gentleness, from peace? We've got to value all those qualities in order for the heart to be happy. And when the heart is happy, jhana arises. Thank you for tuning in. May your heart be joyful. May your mind be bright. Until we see each other again next time. Hello everyone. Welcome, and I'm Keshin. Hope you enjoy your holiday and have a peaceful, happy start to the new year. Let's recap what we were talking about in the previous video, jhana 1, 2, and 3. And today we will cover the fourth jhana. Now, something happened here, something very distinguished qualities that arise that can be mistaken for other jhana. And there are three. First, there is the light that brighten up as though somebody turned on the light, that just are not in intensity. And there is the feeling aspect. There is no more movement of energy. There is no pleasure. There's no joy. There's no happiness. There's no contentment. There's no equanimity. There's nothing in terms of sensation in the body. Nothing. And there might be a subtle breath, very subtle, and sound could be quite distant. And something else, another special, very interesting here is the awareness gathers down. Literally, we will feel this gathering down of our awareness or our attention to one point, one sharp point. So our mindfulness is extremely sharp, like an eagle. And everywhere we look, it's like this, sharp, no feeling, bright. And if we stay here, stay in this moment, stay in this sharp wantedness of awareness, distant, no feeling, and examine the reality, examine contact points, examine our senses, then we will be seeing reality as it is. Now, this moment can also happen during the day, and it can happen anytime. It can happen while we drive. So when we drive, very dangerous, so abort, because everything stops. Time stop, space stop, feeling stop, and the light bright. But if it happens when we are in a that needs our all our functions, like talking to our boss or our family, presenting materials, working with machineries, driving especially, abort. If not, while we're watching TVs, while we're relaxing on our couch, drinking tea, and it happened, then we stay. And it's so beautiful because time stops, space stops, and something else stops. Our sense of self. And here we investigate, what is it that we see? When we see, there is no tree, grass, TV, room, people. When we see, there is just the seeing, there is just images and lights and shadows come through into our eyeball, our eye senses, external contact with internal. External is the objects out there, and internal is our sense base, our eyeball in this case. There is just contact. There is no I am looking at things. There is no I looking. there is just the thing, the contact of lights, visual, and our sense base. The same with sound. There is no I'm hearing sound, or this is the music, or this is people talking. There's no labeling. So labeling, perception, and thinking stop. Feeling stop. There is only this internal sense contact with outer sense. And staying here, right here, in this moment, is Nibbana. It's only Nibbana if this state is permanent. If we have only a moment experience of this state, then it is just an experience. Insight will arise, insight into what the contact points, feeling, perception, that process, one leading to the next. Why the difference between sensation, feeling, and suffering, all that insight will arise because we have this experience of there is no I, me, mine in any of the senses. Knowledge, insight is not Nibbana. Knowledge, insight, vision arise. That will lead to the permanent stopping, the permanent ending. That permanent ending is Nibbana. So we stay in this moment as long as we can and as often as we can to really familiarize what reality, what is this me, mine, I is, and the contact. We cut off fetters, we cut off attachment. Even the knower. What is the knower? What is this observer? What is this watcher? We see that also. It's just the attachment of to consciousness, to the cognition of things. In this fourth jhana, while it happened during meditation, outside meditation, there is no knower. There is no me watching either. Whether it's watching with equanimity, watching with bright awareness and pure awareness, there is no watcher. So we can see all the previous jhanas as feeding the trees, sprouting branches and leaves, growing, put forth flower. But at fourth, and seeing Nibbana is the fruit of the tree. That's the purpose. There is beneficial to live, provide shades, flowers, but it's not the purpose of the tree. The tree is to fruit. The purpose of jhana is to fruit, to see reality as it is. And also we can, with fourth, we can also, another example is the purification. We are all gold nuggets. And it's up to us, our responsibility to clean our own dirt, the sand, the mud. And in jhana, we start melting our nuggets and then purify even the fine black dust that it is inside the nugget. And at fourth, we are this 24 karat pure gold bar. And now what do we do with this gold bar is up to us. We can stay here and direct our mind to 5 types of the psychic powers: divine eyes, divine ears, mind reading, and recollect our past lives. We can project and be many places at one and still be here. Also, the sixth knowledge is to stay here and finish the job. Nibbana, nirvana, enlightenment. That's what all our training for. All our keeping precept, breath training, meditating, mindfulness, investigation, all this so that we can see reality as it is, undistorted with this sense of I. And this sense of I it can be very subtle. If we, it's quite easy to label sense of I as an ego or the name I identify with. But the sense of I is also in the knower. This pure awareness that knows things is also the sense of I. That one is very fine and subtle and very hard to see through. But it is easy in fourth jhana. Now we can do the job and finish the job after first jhana, second jhana, or third jhana. In that case, great. If not, we move on. If we can finish the job at fourth jhana, great. If not, we move on. And we move on to formless jhana. Now, if we have to be really technical, then there is only 4 jhana. 1, 2, 3, 4. We stop here. Formless is called formless attainment. It is not a jhana. But for ease of classification, then we pull it all in and classify as form jhana, formless jhana. Why is form jhana? Because we still in our body. We still perceive light. We perceive happiness, joy. Even though it's very fine form, it's still form. And the last 4 jhanas, which is formless, there is no light, no breath, no body. There is just, we are in the mind aspect. So, I hope to see you again, and we will cover experiences that is beyond every of the experience that we've ever known, because all the experience we ever known has always been within our body. Even if we have this immense love, it's still in our body. But when we are into formless, it's beyond experience that we most likely to know. So I hope to see you again next time. May you be well. May you be happy. Hello everyone. Welcome. And I'm Keshin. Let's recap what we were talking about in the previous 4 videos. We covered jhana 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in this video, we'll be covering formless jhana. Now, formless is 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then cessation. But in this, I like to just cover 5, 6, and 7. The reason why that is so, because up to 7 is called perception attainment, meaning we can perceive things, we can know things. Our consciousness is still intact. So we can be the observer and the observed at the same time. Not the same time, but very fast simultaneously. So let's put to perspective. Up to 4th jhana, we're looking at someone who's been practiced for a long time and commitment to the path for a long time. In the beginning, it's actually an uphill battle with lots of training, lots of efforts and patience, but very little rewards. Because we are learning about our mind, we're learning about the nature of cravings, we're learning to slowly weaning ourselves and reconditioning our mind from addictive patterns, addictive thought patterns, and replacing them with more wholesome and more nourishing thoughts and behaviors and livelihood. So it's a gradual training with gradual result, and any changes in our mind or behaviors is integrated into our daily lives. It some people it might, the jhanas, it might be hard. To some it might be easy. We can practice in the lay life, in the world, with family and commitments and jobs and daily worldly dramas. But still, our commitment to the path is also daily. Daily training to be a good person in mindfulness, efforts into meditation, on retreats, learning to investigate, all of that for a long time. So by the time we're at 4th, even though we might not master 4th, but we're pretty good at dropping into jhanas at every sitting straight away. Because the territory is so well known. We're so familiar with the whole experience. So just remembering it is enough to put our mind right into it. Remember the feeling, the light, because it's there. It's always there. Our joy, our peace is always there. It's just that when jhana, we've been purified enough so that tapping into that reservoir is easy. Now, why do I cover 5, 6, and 7 in this one? Because it happened, formless happened very fast. And formless is nothing like form jhana. Because all the experience that in form jhana, we pretty much know, right? We've seen light, we experience love, we experience joy, we experience peace, we experience equanimity, we experience all these lovely emotion, delicious feeling. It's in our body. But with formless, there's no light. It's not like we astral travel out into space, meeting deities, this being, that being, seeing light. No, that's more like our mind body go off to play. Formless jhana is when we transcend all of that, transcend all everything that is regarding the body. And that's include the breath. So now we are into the immaterial aspect of reality, right? The immaterial. So what is fifth? Fifth jhana is when we close our mind, we sink, we relax, and then we feel our mind go out and expand. Okay, there is this, not rushing, but there is this kind of sensation of going out. Like the first jhana, there is this, remember the first jhana is when the energy moves, there is the rushing of the energy. In the same, the pattern for formless jhana is like form jhana. It's just that it is immaterial. So in the fifth, there is this sensation of going out, going big and out. And in that expanding out, in the first jhana, we have the rapture, the ecstatic. In the formless fifth, remember the fifth is like the first. So in the fifth, there is this enormous bliss. There is something that we've never experienced before. It's just so altered state. Any word I describe is mediocre, right? Because it's just so ecstatic. It's you just close your eyes and you just collapse, because that's how blissful it is. Now, in the fifth, there is this, the mind going out. So in the fifth, it's called infinite space dimension, right? So in the fifth, we transcend the physical body. We don't feel the physical body. We don't even feel the breath. It's not that we stop breathing. It's just that we transcend it. We don't perceive it. It's like we are not in our body, but we're not astral traveling. No, we are in the mind. The mind itself is infinite. The consciousness now in the fifth is like we going out. Okay, so it's infinite space dimension. That is the name of the fifth. So what's also significant with the fifth jhana is that this is the second cessation. Remember, in second jhana, the first level of cessation is thought stop, right? It's called speech fabrication ceased. In the fifth, is bodily fabrication ceased, meaning the breath stopped. So That is the significance of the fifth, because we totally transcend anything that is physical. Okay? Not seeing light, also remember that. There is no more light. And the feeling that we are feeling is not in the body, it's the mind. That's why it's so extraordinary, because it's just super ordinary. It's out of the world, out of this world experience. Now, in the sixth is called infinite consciousness. So now we expanded in the fifth, and now in the sixth we feel big. It's just, there's no boundary, right? We just big, so big. And the bliss now is it's not as aesthetic like when we were going out, but it calmed down a bit. It's like the second jhana is the calming of the rapture. So in the sixth, it's also the calming of the bliss of the fifth. And in the seventh is called the nothingness dimension. It's not that we don't see anything. It's just consciousness is so big, we don't perceive anything. There's nothing to perceive. Now, we just see a blank darkness, right? If we experience this lots of times, we like to experiment. So we might try to open our eyes. It'll be really extremely hard. It's like moving mountain. But just a tiny peek, open the eyelid. There's nothing to perceive. There's just light, just white nothingness. And when you close your eyes, it's just dark nothingness. So that is 5, 6, and 7. Up to the stage of fourth jhana is gradual training, is gradual changing behaviors and mind, is gradually integrating into our daily life. Now, when we go into formless, it's a sudden drop. Imagine an ocean floor. It's gradual, and then there is some point, a sudden drop. So formless, when we experience formless as a permanent state, not as an experience. Some people experience formless once, twice, or it goes away. Then that doesn't count. It's only count if formless is permanent, meaning you sit, meaning when we sit and meditate, we go formless. And when we open our eyes, we are still in formless. What that means is our mind remains big, expansive, huge. And what does this mean? What does this translate into our daily life? Really, really hard to function. Just imagine the top half of our skull removed, and there's just sky, right? So how do we function? Normally we function because our focus is right here. But now the mind is out there. So when we even try to walk, is hard, right? We have to like pull the mind down to a point and walk one step at a time. And what about perceiving things? Perceiving things is not like before, right? Tree don't look like trees. It have a form of a tree, and we just in and out notice a tree. But everything is change. And this happen depend on the individual. Not everybody is the same. Some people's mind change fast and then finish the changing. And then others can go on for months, years. Now, in terms of investigating and have a look at the 5, 6 senses and all the aggregates, the usual investigation mode or techniques that we have, is very easy now. It seems like there is the strength of attachment is severed more. It's from an internal sense, meaning our 6 base, and external sense, meaning the object, the contact, and what's go after the context, whether it's feeling, perception, or thinking. We can see that it's easy now. But what people have to be aware is this stage of changing is, well, I have to say warning. This stage of changing is quite dangerous for people who work, who mind is involved, for example, office workers or machineries. Really, really do take care, because if it is hard for us to even walk, imagine driving and doing something that is very involved intellectually. Because remember, when our mind is big, the thinking and the thoughts pattern is not there. So even to speak is hard. We might talk to somebody and then we just blank out in mid-sentence because the mind just want to go big again. So every time we try to do something, we pull it down, but it's very hard to pull it down. It's like trying to fit an ocean in a keyhole. So this is formless 5, 6, and 7. And next video, I'll be covered 8 and cessation. Now, I left these two separate because these two goes together. They happen together. And why it is so significant is these last two, number 8 and cessation, is the cessation of the attainment, of all the attainment. In the previous, from 1 to 7 jhana, is called perception attainment. And the last two is called cessation of all attainment. So it'll be very interesting, the next section, because lots of things happen and not happen. I hope to see you next time. Thank you for tuning. Hello everyone. Welcome, and I'm Keshin. Last video we covered formless jhana 5, 6, and 7. Now the next two videos will be like the finale of the jhana series, because we will explore cessation and then emptiness. So number 8, the 8th jhana is like the 4th jhana. So in reality, or how I experience, 5, 6, 7, 8 and cessation happen in one go, in one sitting. Whether it's the duration is half an hour, or 2 hours, it's all one go. It's not like the form jhana where you develop the first jhana for months or years, and then the next, and then the next. It's quite a distinct stages of development, gradual. But with formless, it's all in one go. So we sit, we relax, we sink, and the mind just naturally want to go big. There is no efforts. The only efforts required is for us to just drop, relax, and then the mind just take over and go big, because that is the natural of the mind, the nature of the mind when it's pure and it's less string of attachment. Then it just want to go. It just want to go out, up, and big, expanded. And so there is this out, expand, blissful, so blissful. You collapse, you just totally let go, totally the observe, the experience itself. And something happened interesting at 8. So you see it, so consciousness go big and you see nothing, and then the mind gathers. It's like the 4th. The 4th, the mind gathers down to a one pointedness of awareness, sharp. But there is the observer, observing things, investigating. But here, there is this gathering also, but the energy is so strong, unbelievably strong. So there's no way consciousness can withstand that amount of, it feels like squeezing, it feels like the energy, there's like huge energy pressure down into the consciousness, and you can actually, if you experience it so many times, you can try a lot of things in that. You can hold on to it. You can't hold on to your consciousness. You can't hold on to your observer. No way. And it feels like a ginormous thumb and finger squeezing the flame out, and then it just go out. So that gathering and that thinning, fading away of consciousness is the 8th jhana. And the going out totally is cessation, Nirodha Samapatti. So when consciousness go out, your head nod like this. That's it. There is nothing in the body to hold it up. What's interesting about this cessation or Nirodha or the 9th or Nirodha Samapatti is the body in that state is like a dead body. It's like a corpse. The only things that sustain the body is vitality. And what is vitality? Vitality is the intention to live, the will to live. There is the will to live, so therefore the vitality of the organs in the body is intact. And another thing is heat. So there is warmth in the body. Beside that, beside vitality of the organs and the heat, the warmth of the body, is nothing different than the corpse or a dead body. So if we hook this person up to the ECG, there'll be a flat line. There'll be no pulse. There'll be no heart rate. It's like a corpse. And in scriptures and suttas or in commentaries, they say that a person in this state is indestructible. Indestructible to flood or fire. I don't want to go too much examples about of this, but that is what being said. Now, that is it. The cessation, Nirodha Samapatti, is the peak, the end of the jhana series. Because we peeled all the layers. We peel the body layers, the sense desire layers, and we know we are none of that. We went into love, compassion, joy, and that ceased, so we know we're not that. We went through equanimous, sharp, pure awareness, and that ceased, and we know we're not that. We went to infinite space. We feel big, like the God-like entity, and that passed. And even this consciousness, this knower, this watcher, this, we're not even that, because that's also cease. If something cease, something rise and pass, then we're not that. That's just the nature of compounded existence. So we just sit. We just sit and we just let the process happen. And a person I recommend whoever go through this state, this is the time we need the monastery. We dana to the monastery, we supported our monastery, we go to retreat, we study under the elders, and this is the time we really, really need their support. Because the mind is so big. functioning in the lay life of the world is so hard, and it's dangerous, and it's impeding the process. So when the mind goes big, just let it be big. And the only way we can be big and also function is to be in a retreat-like setup. So there's less danger of us driving, working, communicating. Now that is not the end. The job is not done yet. Just because we go to cessation, just because somebody has cessation experience doesn't mean they're enlightened, or it's nibbana, or it's awakened, or the final awakening. It's not. Because we can go through arupas, we can go through cessation many times. But then there is this sense of it's not even I am, it's just this amness, this just beingness. This we look at things and we know there is not I, me, myself looking, or that is the tree, or there is no labeling, there might be no perception, no feeling, but still there is this amness. And a person going through this might be quite confused and don't know what to do. It's like the flower has gone, but the scent is still there. That's an example. Another example is we washed our clothes. We wash all the stain. We wash all the coloring. It's nice and pure white and clean. But there is still the scent of what it was before. Now, to get rid of that scent, we have to put some kind of scented perfume, flowering, and that perfume would pervade the cloth and wash out that scent. So a person go through this, we might go through cessation many times a day, and for months or for years for some people. But for me, it's 18 months. Now, even then, in these 18 months, the cessation is, you got to remember, cessation is also arranged. And some people can go cessation for many days. The Buddha goes for 7 days, some Ajahn go for 3 days. But for me, it's just a few minutes. A few minutes, lots of times a day for a long time. So that is covering, so we've covered 1 to 8 and cessation, Nirodha. Now, we can actually see what's been Nirodha, what's actually stopped. We can even feel there is this stickiness, that there is no more this stickiness. The string of attachment has been severed, a lot severed at the same time. We know that because we don't get triggered as much. words don't get triggered. Let's analyze the vision. Before we look at an image, whether it's anything, there is an automatic compulsive labeling or knowing what it is, whether it's a table, a person, or anything. There is this compulsion. It's almost, we say, it's natural. But it's only seem natural and compulsive because there is attachment. There is this string of bondage. There is this theta that binds them. Now, when we go through lots of cessation, that binding, that bondage is severe, cut. And so we look at things and how we see, remember, in fourth jhana, how we see reality as it is. Now it is permanent. Before, it was just an experience and we need to stay there, try to maintain that throughout the day. But now when we go through cessation, that state is become more and more permanent. Many changes happen. Jhana is not just a means of insight. There is, yes, it's crucial to have knowledge and vision and insight arise. But also jhanas, especially rupas and cessation, is a whole, total change in the mind. Delete, delete, delete. Imagine a computer, a normal person computer, is the moment they turn it on, the moment they wake up in the morning, all the program turn on. Ding, 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 everything is there on the screen. Everything is running. So just a tiny look from somebody and we perceive it as the program is running. Just somebody say a word to us, then our perception run into a different program. We have program for everything and it's constantly running. Now with cessation, it's like pushing that shut down button every day. And a lot of time every day for a long time. So imagine the computer keeps shutting down, shutting down, shutting down. So the end result is all that running program is deleted. Delete, 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 delete. So now when we turn on the computer, things only pop up and run when we need it to, and then it shut down. It goes back. We hit that cross button icon and it's deleted. It go back into its interface. It's not constantly running all the time. That's what cessation is, deleting all the running, constantly running softwares. That's the modern analogy. So I'm going to, there are many changes, so I'm going to go through a few changes. Number one, sensitivity. Before we are sensitive, we feel people, we have this empathy, but when we go through cessation, it's skyrocket. It's exponential. We start feeling, we start taking people's pain everywhere because we are so open, totally open. There is, beside this emptiness, there is no sense of I anywhere. So there is no shield arm, no protecting, no identifying, believing in this I. Totally open. Sensitivity goes up. Another dangerous thing happen around this changing phase is this, I call this on and off or flip in, flip out symptom, where I covered this in the previous videos, but I'll say it again, how we just do our things during the day, whether it's eating or whether it's driving, walking, whatever. And all of a sudden, time stop, space stop, total self stop. And we forgot everything, who we are, what we're doing, and that is just reality. Hello everyone, welcome, I'm Keshin. In the last video we covered cessation, how we go big, we go arupa, we go formless jhana, and then the energy gathered and squeezed our consciousness out of existence, and then at that moment we go unconscious, and that's cessation. And in this video we'll explore the result of cessation. So this change, we realize that when we sit and meditate, we don't go big anymore. We don't, cessation now is there. Because what result is this? Our mind is empty, and when we sit and meditate, we just go into that empty state. And then the consciousness just slowly fades away. It's not being squeezed out, like, like blown out, like somebody squeezed the flame, but now it's just the thinning, the fading, and then gone. And during the day, as we do our work, live our normal, ordinary life, we realize something else. Our mind is not big. It's not fresh and cool. It's not bright. Now, it's just peace. It's just empty. It's like emptiness is walking. Emptiness is eating. Emptiness is talking. Now, when I say that, it sounds quite unbelievable, because whatever I'm going to describe this state, it'll be a paradox. That's why it's hard to describe. It's hard to say something that exists and doesn't exist. Okay, so let's take the example of the computer. The computer, many people have lots of software running on the screen 24/7 for a long time, and our process been running for eons of lives, life after life after life, and we don't know how many, through how many realms of existence. By the time that we get to arupa and cessation stage, not many software is running. So with cessation, it's like we hit the shutdown button on the computer. So our mind, our body, our mind, existence are all processes. Cause and effect processes, arising and passing, impermanent, anicca, anatta. Now, what happens if we keep shutting the button, shutting it down? Each day it come back up and we shut it down. It come back up a few more hours and you shut it down. That's what happened when we meditate, right? In a rupa and cessation, that the mind come back and we go cessation, we shut it down. And the result is the computer stop working. It goes black, can't turn back on. The same with our mind. It's gone. There's a black screen now. There is the emptiness. There is the nothingness. There is the black hole. You can use all these terms to describe it. Now that's the fun example. Another example in the book is the skin cow. Imagine a cow that's been skinned, totally skinned, flayed, and the skin is removed from the flesh and the muscle. And then it's been put back on. So a cow, look at a cow. It looked normal like before, and it sound more normal like before. It have its preferences like before, but it's not the same cow. The same with us. The flesh is our sixth sense base, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, our mind. And the skin is the world out there. The mind world and the physical world. And the corresponding objects with those sense base is the skin. So when we go through this jhana, form jhana, rupa, and we go cessation and we cessate enough, the contact, our mind, when it contact with the two world, it doesn't lead to the next moment. Normally, there is attachment, there is fetish, there is bondage. So it leads to feeling, to perception, to fabrication, to the will, to intention, etc. But so that's called the psychic mechanism, the process that make us, and that's ticking away with existence. But now all that's gone, all that is cut, all the fetters, all the attachment, all the stickiness. We don't feel things stick to our mind and doesn't register. For example, we look at thing and thing doesn't appear, it doesn't spontaneously, we don't have the spontaneous perception of it. So from contact, it doesn't automatically lead to perception. It doesn't automatically lead to feeling. So that's why the screen is blank. That's why our mind, that center where we used to feel our sense of self, that center of reference is gone. Now, in the beginning, when someone experienced this change, when this emptiness set in, doesn't mean it's finished, doesn't mean the job is done yet. That emptiness, that scent of the flower, that subtle, very subtle knowing still linger on. But it cannot survive. It cannot, consciousness doesn't have anything to land on once emptiness is set in. It's very much like the eighth jhana, where perception and feeling is starting to fade. Consciousness doesn't have anything to feed it, to land on, so therefore it goes out of existence too. The same with emptiness. Nothing in this, the mind is blank. The computer doesn't work anymore, so that sense of emptiness can't survive. It will linger on for a few months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, the max, and then it's all gone too. So what is the change? Why is it so paradox is the humanness, our humanness is still the same. It's like the cow, it's still the same. It still looks the same. We still look the same. We still have emotion. We still have fear. If somebody punches us in the face, we still cry. If we still feel annoyed, we still go to the movies. Everything else is still the same. But this is the paradox. But that center of our mind is still blank. It doesn't matter what we do, doesn't matter what we feel. It seems like we express emotion, but it's empty. It's like emptiness walking, right? Emptiness eating. So emptiness feeling, emptiness show emotion. See how hard it is to describe, how paradox it is. Now, the first, when this state set in, it's very hard. It's like a rupa. When a rupa starts, we're very disoriented. It's very hard to live in the world, to go to work, to keep the relationship. Now, when emptiness set in, it's a little bit easier, but still, the changes is so much. There's no memory. You got to remember, there's no memory, and there's thinking. So all the way we functioned before is all gone. So now the next few months is about relearning. How can we go through life with no memory? How can we go to work and talk and communicate with no thinking? So it's always present moment, always waiting for the present moment, waiting for something to arise. For example, but it doesn't arise on that dark screen. It doesn't arise in that emptiness. Nothing goes in there, nothing go out. It's always still. It's always empty. So if somebody asks us, do you know where your key is? And we'll just have to wait. Oh, the key is there and there or there. The way we think before is not the same. It's more like we look at a problem and then we put it back burner, and then the solution will arise. There is no step-by-step thinking, and then arrive at a solution like how we did before. Now it's just look at a problem, wait, and then the solution arises. So this phase of learning, that is a hard one. The memory that we have before this empty state, pretty much like, the 40 or 50 years of our life, whether that memory is there or not depends. It doesn't mean it's all gone, but that doesn't mean it will arise when you need it. But the memory that we go from now on forward is easier to retrieve. For example, you go to the supermarket. Before you know where it is, so going to the supermarket is very fast. When the emptiness first set in, you don't know where everything is. So you have to go through aisles by aisles. And when you look at things doesn't appear to be the things it is. And you don't even know whether you want that. It's hit and miss. You look at the aisles of yogurt, for example. Your previous preference is, say, a blueberry yogurt. But now you look at a yogurt and you stare and you just pick one. You don't know whether it's the right one. So it's like that. It's quite a hard phase. In the beginning for the next few months. And then things get easier and easier because we've relearned, we learn to live, to adapt. That's the thing about this path. It's gradual training, gradual changing, and gradually adapting and integrating into our life. With the Rupa, it's a bit faster, and the change is escalating. And when emptiness come in, boom, totally change. So this jhana path isn't just about sit, experience, get the insight, and hope our behaviors and our perception shift. The jhana path, as when we get familiarized and master it, we become that jhana. For example, when the mind goes into arupa in meditation, that is how we are when we're outside of the sitting. The same with emptiness. When we sit and arupa stop and emptiness set in, we go into the emptiness, and when we out of the sitting meditation, the emptiness is still there. So there is a complete change, restructuring of the mind. Now, I hope this video would help whoever it is that go through this change, be beneficial for them, and hope they get the proper support, the refuge, the guidance that is needed. Just one last note. If you happen to find a person who have the energy field, for example, when you meet this person, when you come close to this person, and your mind turn bright or turn expansive, or you become high like a kite, or you become very calm and peaceful, that's an indication of an energy field affecting. Be close to that person. Find an excuse to be close to that person, because that energy would help tremendous in the path. Thank you for tuning in. May you be happy. May you be peaceful.